Hey, brother, this is the 17th day as we hold fast in a culture that's constantly creating imbalance, disequilibrium. It's filled with lies and deception, and yet we are called into it. And I've been talking with you the last 3 days about influence because Jesus said we're not only to hold out, but we're to hold fast. We're to make a difference in the culture in which we live. So I've talked about salt and light and yeast. And today we want to talk about a fourth characteristic of the kingdom of God. It's called seed. And here's the parable that Jesus gives in Matthew chapter 13, verse 31. He says, the kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed that a man took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it has grown, it is larger than all the garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches. I know what you might be thinking in this whole series. Well, I'm not a speaker. I'm not a preacher. I'm not on staff of a mission or a church. I'm not a prophet. I'm not really much of a risk taker. I'm not a visionary. I'm not a Navy SEAL kind of Christian worker. What kind of influence can I have? Well, this should be an encouragement to you because Jesus said, if it starts out like a mustard seed, it can have great influence. Isn't it amazing that Jesus spoke these words 2,000 years ago, and yet the image is still bright for us today? He didn't just talk about principles or legalism or rules to keep. He put these images in our mind, and this one is amazing because he's predicting the amazing growth of the kingdom of God. That a mustard seed, though he didn't insist it was literally the smallest seed in the world, he's speaking rhetorically, saying the smallest of seeds can grow into the largest of plants. In fact, the mustard seed could grow to a plant that was 10 feet tall. And he's saying you don't know the result of what will happen when you plant that seed and that seed goes into the soil and germinates a new plant. Today, as we think about this, we think about the short ministry of Jesus, that it took place in a rural backwater nation, a vassal state that was being ruled by the Romans. He had no publicity. He had no broader plan to get his word out other than 12 disciples. And this kingdom has grown literally to go around the world and shelters billions of people in cultures that find stability and hope and prosperity, because it's the kingdom that brings order and hope to life. Well, you may be thinking, well, I'm inconsequential. Well, you should take encouragement from this, because later in Luke chapter 17, the disciples are asking how their faith can grow. And Jesus says, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move this mountain. He's not talking about the quantity of the faith. He's not talking about faith like a statistic. He's talking about simple acts of faith that are obedient. So every time you listen to someone, or you give counsel, or you take your family to church, or you give that offering, or you offer comfort to someone who needs a word of encouragement, you're exercising faith, you're sowing seed, and who knows where that goes in the health and strength of the people who hear it. So today, brother, you have a seed, a mustard seed of faith. Sow that seed, trust God that he will do something with it, that maybe you will never see the end result. But since the kingdom of God is organic, that seed will grow and you'll be encouraged. So today, plant your seed, be the kingdom of God. God bless you.